I need you to stop and listen up if you're a man over 50. If you've been told to eat more vegetables for better health, you need to hear this now. One of those vegetables sitting in your refrigerator might be the real reason behind your dropping energy-growing prostate and disappearing erections. You're slowly losing your manhood, not because you're getting older, but because you've been eating what everyone's been telling you is healthy. What if I told you that certain vegetables, yes, vegetables contain hidden compounds that boost estrogen, stiffen your arteries, and inflame your prostate? Worse yet, well-meaning health experts call most of them heart healthy. The irony is that you might be suffering more from the very foods that are supposed to be helping you. In this video, I'll share 5 overlooked vegetables that most men don't pay attention to, but that science shows can help you reclaim your manhood, support your prostate, boost your confidence, and restore blood flow in just days. And if circulation, testosterone, and sex drive matter to you, I'll tell you about 5 vegetables you should stop eating right away. Stay tuned for a bonus tip on how to cook these vegetables for maximum nutrient absorption, which will help you stay strong even at 75. Once you know the truth, you'll never look at vegetables the same way again. Before we dive into these shocking facts about the vegetables that might be quietly undermining your health, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any video about staying strong, sharp, and confident. After 50, type 1 in the comments if this information helps you. If not, type 0 to help me keep making these videos better for you. Let's start with what many of you might find most surprising. Let's uncover the first vegetable that might be the main cause of your declining energy despite its great reputation for health. I want to tell you about a man I treated. He was a 65-year-old retired teacher named John, married to his high school sweetheart, and had a quick mind, but something important was missing. Confused and quietly embarrassed, he came into my office. "Everything else is fine, doctor, but I just don't feel like myself anymore," he said. "My energy is gone. I'm tired all the time, and the spark in the bedroom has just disappeared." We ran some tests. Even though he had slightly high cholesterol and a healthy heart, one thing jumped out. His testosterone was on the low end, and his estrogen levels were unusually high for a man his age. That's when I asked about what he was eating. John proudly told me that years ago he had switched from red meat and dairy to heart-healthier choices like tofu, soy milk, and edamame snacks on his cardiologist's advice. That's when the pieces started falling into place. 1. Soy. Soy is the first vegetable you should think about cutting back on, or maybe avoiding completely. Despite its healthy reputation, soy is loaded with phytoestrogens, plant compounds that act like the female hormone estrogen in a man's body. For a man over 50, this is crucial. Your natural testosterone levels are already gradually declining at this stage of life. You're throwing your hormone balance even more off track if you add foods to your diet that act like estrogen. What does this mean in real life? Lower sex drive, a softer, more tired-looking body. And for many men like John, erections that weaken, become unreliable, or vanish altogether. Soy isn't just an obvious problem. It's how often it sneaks into your diet without you knowing, in processed snacks, protein bars, sauces, and meat substitutes. The food industry loves it because it's cheap and has a health halo, but your male hormones know the truth. John was skeptical but willing to try. It was a simple plan. We replaced soy with clean protein sources. Within weeks, he came back with more energy. A month later, his wife sent me a handwritten thank you note. All it said was, "Doctor, you gave me back my husband." Am I saying soy is poison? No. But it is a healthy food that men over 50 might want to avoid, especially if they're dealing with fatigue or performance issues. 2. Corn. Staying with our theme of healthy foods with a dark side, our next vegetable is even more surprising. It's in millions of people's diets, but in its most processed form, it might be contributing to chronic inflammation, which can harden arteries and redirect blood flow away from where it's needed most. You'll be amazed at how common it is. Corn is a staple used in countless meals worldwide. And I want to be very clear here. I'm not talking about the fresh corn on the cob you eat at a summer cookout. I'm talking about corn as a foundation of our modern diet. Corn syrup, cornstarch, corn oil, and countless processed foods made with corn. Let me introduce you to Richard, a 58-year-old man who came to me with a troubling problem. Besides erectile dysfunction, he was experiencing constant tiredness and joint pain. He was following his principles by switching from butter to vegetable oil, margarine, usually corn-based. His efforts to maintain his health seemed to be making things worse, which frustrated him. Richard's problem was chronic inflammation. It was an invisible but powerful enemy. Corn, especially when processed, is rich in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, our bodies need omega-6 fatty acids, but they need to be carefully balanced with omega-3 fatty acids found in walnuts, flaxseed, and fish. The modern diet has destroyed that balance. Our omega-6 intake is up to 20 times higher than it should be. When this ratio is out of balance, your body enters a constant state of low-grade inflammation. Think of it like a small fire that's always burning inside you. This inflammation damages the endothelium, the delicate lining of your arteries. What does the endothelium produce? Nitric oxide. When it's damaged, your ability to produce nitric oxide drops. The result: arteries that harden and lose their flexibility. Blood flow to the penis and all other parts of the body significantly decreases. Inflammation is also linked to joint pain, fatigue, and even prostate enlargement. In fact, Richard's heart-healthy diet was actually making the inflammation that was hardening his arteries worse. For Richard, the solution seemed obvious. We dramatically increased his omega-3 intake with fatty fish like salmon and high-quality fish oil supplements, and eliminated processed seed oils like corn and soy. The transformation within a month was remarkable. His joint pain lessened, and his vascular health was clearly improving. His morning energy returned, and he started experiencing morning erections for the first time in years. Read those labels. Then realize you might be feeding the inflammation that's choking off your vitality. If you see corn oil, soy oil, or corn syrup, that brings us to our third and most contradictory villain. 3. Raw spinach. A vegetable that's a staple in detox smoothies and super healthy salads might, when consumed improperly, be blocking the absorption of the mineral most critical for a man's testosterone production. And now for the vegetable that surprises my patients the most. Despite being the darling of the health community, this food has a dark secret, especially for men over 50. I'm talking about spinach specifically, large amounts of raw spinach. This might sound contradictory, so let me explain using the example of Bill, a 64-year-old amateur marathon runner who was doing everything he could to stay fit. He thought he was giving his body plenty of nutrients by starting each day with a big green smoothie packed with raw spinach. But his blood work told a different story. Despite eating foods high in zinc, his testosterone was low, and his zinc levels were extremely low. He also complained about his missing sex drive. Bill's problem wasn't with his food choice, but with how it interacted with his body. The culprit here is a compound called oxalate. Raw spinach is one of the richest sources of oxalates. Oxalates are tiny nutrient thieves in your digestive tract. They bind to essential minerals and pull them out of your body before you can absorb them. One of the minerals oxalates love to steal is zinc. And as we've discussed, zinc is like gold for a man. It's a critical component for testosterone production and prostate health. So with each sip of that super healthy green smoothie, Bill was unknowingly robbing his body of the very mineral it needed most to maintain his manhood. Am I saying don't eat spinach? Absolutely not. Spinach is rich in magnesium and other minerals. The key is not what, but how. Simply cooking spinach, even heating it for a few minutes, significantly reduces its oxalate content, allowing your body to absorb those minerals. After Bill switched from his raw smoothie to an omelet with sautéed spinach, his testosterone and zinc levels began to rise within weeks. 4. Nightshade vegetables. Many men don't realize that a whole family of common vegetables can trigger joint pain and inflammation in sensitive individuals. I'm talking about nightshades, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and white potatoes. Let me tell you about George, a 72-year-old who came to me with low energy and a PSA level that was creeping up. What stood out was his constant complaint about stiffness and joint pain. "I feel like the Tin Man from Oz every morning," he told me. For some men, especially those with existing inflammatory conditions, nightshades contain compounds called alkaloids that can increase inflammation. This inflammation doesn't just affect your joints, it can impact your entire system, including blood flow and hormone production. We didn't eliminate nightshades completely from George's diet, but we did a 2-week trial without them. The difference was remarkable. His morning stiffness decreased significantly, and over time, even his PSA levels stabilized. 5. Processed potatoes. The 5th vegetable to watch out for isn't the potato itself, but how it's typically prepared. French fries, potato chips, and other processed potato products are often cooked at high temperatures that create compounds called acrylamides. These compounds have been linked to increased oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. For men over 50 whose antioxidant systems are already less efficient, this additional oxidative burden can accelerate aging and hormone decline. My patient Frank, a 63-year-old business owner, couldn't understand why his health was declining despite his mostly vegetarian diet. When we looked closer, his daily lunch of a sandwich and bag bag of chips was creating a steady stream of these harmful compounds. Switching to boiled or baked potatoes with the skin on where many nutrients reside made a significant difference in his overall inflammation markers within just a month. 5 vegetables men over 50 should eat now that you know about the secret enemies on your plate. Let's flip the script. Let's focus on the power of rebuilding. I believe there are 5 vegetables that are absolutely essential for men over 50. They're not expensive or exotic. In fact, most men ignore them because they're so common. 1. Beets. Our first hero and the undisputed champion of circulation is the beet. If poor circulation is the enemy, beets are your one-man army. Remember John's feeling of no pressure in the system? The simple answer is beets. They're among the richest natural food sources of nitrates. When you eat beets, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide. And as we've seen, nitric oxide is the master molecule that relaxes and opens your blood vessels, so blood can flow vigorously throughout your body. Think of it like turning a kinked garden hose into a firefighter's hose. Studies show that consuming beet juice can significantly lower blood pressure and improve endothelial function, the condition of your artery linings. According to research published in the Journal of Nutrition, here's the detail most people miss though. How you consume beets matters a lot. The magic of beets is diminished when they're pickled or preserved. The high heat required for canning and long storage destroys a large percentage of those healthy nitrates. Even worse, pickling involves a brining process that loads beets with vinegar and sodium, which can narrow your arteries and counteract the very benefit you're seeking. Fresh beets, whether grated in a salad, lightly roasted, or steamed, are essential for the benefits. 2. Broccoli. Our second hero is the champion of hormonal balance, broccoli, despite its instruction manual. The key to vitality is actually the balance between testosterone and estrogen. Many men just focus on testosterone, but here's the reality. Broccoli is one of the most powerful vegetables for men over 50, especially for protecting the prostate and detoxifying estrogen. But it only works if it's prepared correctly. Broccoli, like other cruciferous vegetables, including cauliflower, contains a compound called sulforaphane. This compound is revolutionary. It reduces systemic inflammation, helps with liver detoxification, and most importantly for older men, helps clear excess estrogen, promoting a balanced testosterone level. But here's the big catch. Sulforaphane is very sensitive to heat. When broccoli is overcooked or worse, microwaved, most of this healing compound is destroyed. What's left is just a lifeless stalk that gives you fiber. Yes, but not the protection your aging body needs. Remember Robert, my patient with the bloating and brain fog? At first he claimed to eat broccoli every night, but when I asked how, he said, I microwave it for 5 minutes until it's really soft. Without knowing it, he was destroying the very nutrient his body was craving. He was eating the food that was supposed to support his masculinity, but the way he prepared it made it useless. When we made the simple change to steam broccoli for no more than 3 to 4 minutes, or even eat it raw with a healthy dip, he started noticing subtle changes. His energy gradually returned, his nighttime urination decreased, and his mind cleared. It's a small adjustment, but small things matter for men over 50. Repeated habits can either help or hurt. Unfortunately, many men think they're doing the right thing by eating more vegetables because they've been told to, but they don't realize that how they prepare those vegetables makes a huge difference. Overcooking broccoli not only ruins the taste, but robs your body of one of the most powerful compounds known to protect the prostate. 3. Mushrooms. This brings us to our third and final forgotten hero, and this one gentleman is the silent guardian of your testosterone. Mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms. Specifically, the common white button mushrooms you can buy at any grocery store. They're much more than just an ingredient for salads or pizza toppings. They're a true natural pharmacy for men's hormonal health. Let me introduce you to Bill, the 64-year-old runner I mentioned earlier. After modifying his spinach diet, his zinc levels had improved, but he still felt his libido and competitive drive were low. He felt better, but not powerful. Something was missing from his hormonal puzzle. That missing piece was a sneaky enzyme that becomes more active as we age. Bill was struggling with an enzyme called aromatase. Think of aromatase as a testosterone thief. The body uses it to convert your precious testosterone into estrogen. Men's aromatase activity increases with age, especially if they have a little extra belly fat. In other words, this enzyme is stealing testosterone from your body and converting it to the female hormone before you can use it. This explains why Bill wasn't feeling his best despite having healthy zinc levels. His testosterone was being converted to estrogen too quickly. This is where the beauty of mushrooms comes in. estrogen. Simple white button mushrooms have been shown in scientific studies, such as those from the Beckman Research Institute, to contain compounds that act as natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't directly increase testosterone production. Instead, they act more like bodyguards by preventing the enzyme from converting your existing testosterone to estrogen. They protect it. This means more of your testosterone stays in your bloodstream to do its job as free active testosterone, increase your vitality, sex drive, mental clarity, and muscle mass. When I started having Bill eat sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a couple of times a week, the final piece of the puzzle fell into place. About a month later, he called me. There was a new depth to his voice. "This is it, doctor," he said. "The drive is back. The energy isn't frantic." I haven't felt this kind of calm, confident strength in over a decade. With each meal, he was actively protecting his hormones. That's it. Properly prepared broccoli for hormone balance, fresh beets for blood flow, and mushrooms to protect your testosterone levels. These aren't trendy foods. There's real science behind these functional foods. They show that the solution to reclaiming your manhood is on your plate, not in a pill bottle. 4. Garlic. Our fourth vegetable hero isn't technically a vegetable, but it's a powerful ally in the kitchen. Garlic doesn't just add flavor, it's a potent circulation booster and natural blood thinner. For men over 50 concerned about heart health and circulation, which directly impacts erectile function, garlic is a simple daily addition that pays huge dividends. The active compound allicin helps relax blood vessels and improve blood flow throughout the body. My patient Harold, a 68-year-old with borderline high blood pressure, started adding fresh crushed garlic to his meals daily. Within 3 months, his blood pressure had normalized, and he reported things working better in all departments. The key with garlic is to crush it and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking, which allows the beneficial compounds to form. Add it toward the end of cooking for maximum benefit. 5. Leafy greens. Cooked. Our fifth hero is a category rather than a single vegetable. Cooked leafy greens like kale, collards, and yes, cooked spinach. These powerhouses deliver magnesium, potassium, and vitamin K, all critical for cardiovascular health and hormone production. The key difference is cooking them to reduce those oxalates we discussed earlier. A simple sauté with olive oil and garlic transforms these greens from potential mineral thieves to testosterone-supporting superfoods. My patient Victor, a 75-year-old who wanted to stay active with his grandchildren, made a simple habit of having a small side of sautéed greens with dinner. "I thought it would be a chore," he told me, "but now I crave them, and my energy has never been better." Let's pull everything together with a simple action plan, and the bonus tip I promise to make sure you get the most out of each of these vegetables. We've revealed which vegetables you should avoid or prepare with caution, including soy because of its hormonal effects, processed corn because of its inflammatory burden, too much raw spinach because of its zinc-stealing properties, nightshade vegetables if you have joint pain or inflammation, processed potatoes due to harmful cooking compounds. And we've discovered the 5 heroes you should include in your diet. Fresh beets to fill your body with nitric oxide, properly prepared broccoli to balance your hormones, mushrooms to protect your testosterone, garlic to boost circulation, cooked leafy greens for essential minerals. And as promised, for those of you who stayed with me to the end, here's the bonus tip that will make everything even better. We've talked about magnesium and zinc, but most men don't know about a third mineral that can dramatically boost testosterone. Your bonus tip is boron, the forgotten mineral of male vitality. Boron, yes. Despite being a trace mineral that gets little attention, science shows it's incredibly powerful. Boron can reduce a blood protein called SHBG, which binds to testosterone and makes it inactive or useless. By reducing SHBG, boron helps increase your free testosterone, the kind that really matters for strength, energy, and libido. How do you get boron? You don't need expensive supplements. Great sources include foods like dates, raisins, and yes, our hero avocado. Including a few dates in your smoothie or a handful of raisins as a snack is one easy way to ensure the testosterone your body makes is actually usable. It's the invisible force that makes everything else work better. That's the basics, but I'm sure some of you want to learn more. If this video helped you or someone you care about, please take a moment to like, share, and leave a comment below. Your story, your questions, or even just a simple thank you might inspire another man to start his journey to better health. I read every comment, and your feedback shapes how this channel evolves going forward. Show this video to any man over 50 who's struggling with confidence, intimacy, or vitality. It might make a bigger difference than any medication ever could. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss these next discussions. Together, we can redefine what it means to age with strength. Thank you for being part of this journey and for your trust.